You've probably heard that all digital data is ones and zeros. And as you probably guessed, this is a big oversimplification of what's really going on, but for this discussion, it'll work. So, first thing you need to know is each one or zero is called a bit. And 8 bits together is called 1 byte. 1024 bytes is a kilobyte. 1024 kilobytes is a megabyte. 1024 megabytes is a gigabyte. And 1024 gigabytes is a terabyte. This is the way it's supposed to be. Apple decided it would be easier to multiply everything by 1,000 instead of 1024. So if you're looking at the size of a file on a Mac versus a PC, the Mac is going to tell you that the file is larger than the PC will tell you. But the PC is technically correct. Abbreviations for these terms are KB, MB, GB, and TB. So every storage device has a capacity. So you could get like an 8 gigabyte flash drive, a 16 gigabyte flash drive, or if you're going for a big flash disk, you might have a 2 terabyte flash disk. And everything you put on it uses up some of that capacity. So let's go ahead and we'll look at some capacities of different files on my computer. So here's the El Capitan upgrade we did this past year. If I right click on it and I go to get info, you can see it's using up 6.2 gigabytes, which is actually kind of large. I'm going to open up the Finder and right click on the Macintosh hard drive to just get its capacity. So remember, the Macintosh hard drive, this is my whole hard drive, and there's 120 gigabytes total, which actually isn't that much. We have very fast hard drives in our laptops, but they don't actually hold a lot of data. And you can see I'm using 95 gigabytes, and I only have 24 gigabytes left on my hard drive. So I'm getting a little bit low. This is helpful to know if you can copy a certain piece of data to a certain device. I have a flash drive here that I plugged in, creatively named my flash drive. If I go to get info, you can see it's only about 5.5 gigabytes of space I have available. And let's say I wanted to take my whole home directory. So I go to Macintosh hard drive, users, and I want to take this whole home directory and I want to put it on my flash drive. Well, I might wonder if I have enough space. So before I do that, I can go to get info and I can see this is 46 gigabytes and this is only a 5.5 gig flash drive. So I would not attempt to copy it because I know I'm going to run out of space. One place where we can manage our storage devices is in the disk utility. To get there, you could go to the Applications folder and go into Utilities, and then go into Disk Utility. And this right here is that 120 gigabyte internal hard drive that I showed you before, the Macintosh hard drive. And then this is the flash drive here. So I could repartition this drive. I could click partition. That's if you want to split it into 2 parts. I wouldn't bother doing that. You could do first aid on it if there's something wrong with it, like if it's running extra slow or if you're not able to save anything to it for whatever reason. But you can also erase it too. And when you erase it, you get different options for it. If you're going to have the flash drive only in a Macintosh system, you can format it with OS X extended journaled. I wouldn't bother doing any of these other 3 OS X ones. If it's a smaller hard drive, you could do FAT. If it's a little bit larger, you could do exFAT. But it's safe to just always do exFAT on flash drives. The reason why I say that is this file system, both the FAT file systems actually, will be readable and writable on both Macs and PCs. So I would normally choose to do exFAT and say format. Now I'm going to go ahead and plug in another flash drive. And this one was formatted on a PC. And I want to show you what happens. We're going to see it pop up in just a minute. So I just named it Windows Formatted. And if I go here into the Finder, here's the Windows Formatted flash drive. And this is not going to be writable by me. I can read the data on it, but I can't write anything. So like, let's say if I write here, notice I can't rename this. I don't get any options to create a folder on it. And if I try to write something, it's going to tell me no. So if I wanted to reformat this, then I could go to erase. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, let me back up a second. If I right-click on this drive and I say Info, notice it says Windows NT File System. That means it was formatted on a PC, and it's not going to be writable for you. So you could take those Windows formatted hard drives, come in here, go to Erase, and then just put it on exFAT and erase it. And now notice if I come back here, this is that same drive. It was just renamed Untitled. Now when I right click on it, I get an option to create a folder. I can delete things if I want. So it's now readable and writable on both Windows and Macintosh.